guys, it's me, Rachel, here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So I've been working. You guys, I'm so tired. So I did what everybody said, not what everybody said. There were a couple people that had said that I should, oh, I'm so tired, you guys, that I should remove the, mulch that I put down in my front yard for the grass to grow. And, oh my God. So I've been doing that all day. On top of some other things, I had to move some plants that I had planted. So I have been busy all day long. Oh, you guys, I'm so tired. Anyway, but I wanted to do a little update for you guys on the bebe. He is 2 weeks old. He turned 2 weeks old technically on Saturday, because I know I see you, because even though she went into labor on Friday, or on a Friday, she didn't actually have him until that Saturday morning. So 2 weeks old. He is truly a very massive puppy. I have no idea how big he's gonna be, but I can tell you that he's extremely big. I don't know if you can see, but he's a big, and that's just his head. He's a very big guy. Super cute. Super cute. Super, super, super cute. Super cute. Sorry, I have a hard time touching him without going into baby talk. Look at him scratching himself, you guys. I will tell you this. He has reached milestones that I haven't seen puppies reach at this young of an age. He was walking much earlier than I've ever seen puppies walk. He is just a remarkable little dude. He's got a gigantic head. On top of just being a big old dude in general, his head is massive. I've had some people ask about his muzzle length, questioning if it's going to be really short. I don't know. I don't think so, but it is possible that it could be really short. I just don't know. It's hard to tell at this age. I do think that he resembles his mother a lot. And while there are some people that would probably think that Velocity has a short muzzle, she actually doesn't. I've had some people refer to her as a boxer type Corso, and she's not. Unfortunately, a lot of people are so used to seeing super long muzzles that they think that that's correct. But if you look at the standard for the Corso, it's not supposed to be super long. It's not supposed to be tapered. Tapered means where where it kind of comes down to a point like that. So it's like it widens and then it gets narrower, right? That's tapering. And it gets narrower at where the nose is. And a lot of my dogs have a long tapered muzzle right now, because whenever I first started getting into Corso, I believed a lot of the hype about boxer this, boxer that, because that's something that you get taught here in America early on. And it's just because those crowds, those people are very vocal. So that's what you hear. And then I educated myself, and I learned that it's not a boxer thing. That the correct Corso head is not supposed to be a long pointy muzzle like what you see in America. I'm not strictly saying all American dogs. There are European dogs that have that, but it is a preference that a lot of Americans have here. And the reason that you get shorter muzzles is because when you're trying to breed for the correct muzzle, which is as wide as it is long, sometimes you get those shorter muzzles. And it's not the end of the world. In fact, sometimes those dogs have a place. Like some of you know, I bred Blondie to a dog like that because her muzzle is so long, so tapered, that I needed a dog to help balance that out. And that's why the puppies out of that litter were so good as far as having correct muzzle length. So, every dog has its place. There's always going to be a difficulty when you're breeding for a muzzle that is shorter and wider and not just super long, because a longer muzzle is more dominant. It's going to be easier to get when you're breeding, and a shorter muzzle is harder to get. And so you can, now don't get me wrong, you can breed 2 short muzzle dogs and get short muzzle puppies, but keeping that balance is what's hard, right? Because sometimes it'll go too short. So it's very difficult when you have a breed like this, where it's not too short and it's not too long. It's like it's like this Goldilocks zone. It's really hard to get that just right. And there is a tendency for the muzzle to want to get long. A friend of mine, a mentor of mine, when I first started getting into Corso, and I was all about the long muzzle dogs, and he laughed at me and he said, Rachel, he said, you'll never be able to breed the correct head if you keep bringing all these long muzzle dogs in. He goes, you're eventually going to need, he called it a snub-nosed dog. He's like, eventually you're going to need one of those dogs, or your muzzles are going to run away on you. And I didn't believe him. I was like, I really did not like the look of the short muzzle dogs. And so anyway, so then I bred my 2 longer muzzle dogs, right? Preacher and Cashmere. And while they don't have like super long muzzles, they are longer than even the standard. And so sure enough, doing that, I got very long muzzle dogs. I got Blondie, and consistently in my litters, I've thrown very long muzzles. It took me breeding to, as he called it, a snub-nosed dog, which was Achilles, with Blondie, to be able to correct my heads. So, people may preference that long muzzle, but the reality is that if you don't have balance, then your muzzles will go out of balance, and depending upon however it is. So if you like in Europe, they have a lot of short muzzle dogs, and so they're kind of out of balance is what people here call the boxer type, right? It's too short. But here in America, we preference the longer muzzles, and so we also have our out of balance, which is the really long muzzles like Blondie. Only difference is that people here in America don't have the dislike for the long muzzle the way that they do for the short muzzle. Neither one is any more correct than the other. You know what I mean? Like Blondie's long muzzle isn't better than a dog like Achilles, for example. Both of them are incorrect for the standard, but they are part of they're part of the breed. And so you do have to kind of try to breed better dogs by finding balance. So when you have a shorter muzzle, like if we end up keeping him, right, and he has a shorter muzzle, well, then we'll make sure to breed him to females that don't have a super short muzzle, right? And you just kind of maintain balance that way. But it's not one way or the other. If you forego these dogs that have the shorter muzzles, then you'll just have out of standard muzzles that are just way too long, way too tapered, and they lose the look of the Corso. It's not correct. An individual may like it, they may preference it, but it's not correct. And just because a person likes something doesn't mean that you should be breeding for it, because as breeders of purebred dogs, we are trying to preserve the breed, not preserve what we like to see. We're supposed to be preserving the breed. And that's something that I had to also come to terms with. So that's why I've brought in dogs that genetically have, you know, shorter muzzles, even running through their lines. Maybe they themselves don't have it, but it is in their lines. So yeah, so there's a little lesson on that. But I did just want to kind of show you guys how the big guy is doing. It's shocking to me. He's only 2 weeks old. I can't even imagine what he's going to be like when he hits 3 weeks old. I mean, he's already so big. This guy's going to be so big that even if I didn't keep him, I don't think that he'll even be able to fly when he reaches 8 weeks of age. I think he'll be over the 20-pound limit, if I'm being honest. So anyway, well, oh, also I did make a decision on the puppy, on the female puppy. I decided on the brindle female. So hopefully I'll be able to post pictures of her soon, now that I know which one I'm getting. A really cool thing about her is that she has a perfect star on her chest, which I'm really excited about. She is a dominant female, so that's going to be interesting. As you guys know, I'm not a stranger to dominant personalities, but it'll be interesting. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.